Arisu finally managed to find Usagi and beat all the games, ensuring their safe return to the living world. We even saw the original cast making a brief cameo. Everything seems to be wrapping up, yet a question still lingers in our minds. What was the Watchman talking about, and why were those earthquakes so important that the camera had to focus on them? Just when we think we have all the answers, we're left with even more questions. Who is Alice? Is this a confirmation that Alice in Borderland will have a season 4? Could it be a spin-off? Or is it simply a subtle hint that the Borderland is a worldwide phenomenon? In today's video, we're diving deep into the possibilities, exploring potential storylines, unanswered mysteries, and clues from the show that might hint at what's next. So, the big question, will Alice in Borderland have a season 4? Nothing is official yet, and the director mentioned that Arisu played his final game with the Joker card. But since we're talking about Netflix, there's always a chance it could happen. Personally, I think even season 3 wasn't necessary because the show ended perfectly, tying everything together in a satisfying and plausible way. Yet season 3 arrived only to confuse us even more. Still, if I'm being honest, I liked Alice in Borderland season 3 more than Squid Game season 3. As for the continuation, this series could go on for countless seasons because the concept itself will always remain. The Borderland isn't something that disappears overnight. It has always existed and will continue to exist until the end of time. It's there to demonstrate humanity's will to survive, offering a new chance at life. This series could continue in countless ways, and if done right, I'd watch every single one of them. The only thing that might eventually fade is the mystery surrounding the Borderland. Because if, let's say, it reaches 5 seasons, trust me, they'll get stuck in explanations and mess that up. But if they dedicate proper time to crafting the games, making them more intriguing without copying the originals, I think people would still watch and be pleased with every season. For me, I watch this show for 2 main reasons. The first is the lore, the mystery of what that place truly was, why they needed to collect all the cards, and whether completing them would really bring them back to the real world. The ending of season 1 was the best cliffhanger I've ever seen in a TV show. I almost jumped out of my seat from excitement. The second reason was the games, and if I were to compare the two, I'd say I enjoyed the games even more. As I've mentioned in some of my other videos, I'm a big anime fan, and this kind of game format is exactly what I love, especially characters like Chishia, clever, calm, and superior, solving everything with ease. Call me childish if you want, but I adore those types of characters. Now, if this series continues, I really hope they give the games the attention they deserve. And Netflix, please, bring us more characters we can connect with and empathize with. The characters this season felt kind of meh. Tetsu had a heartbreaking backstory, and I did feel sad when he died, thinking his destiny was to always be a junkie. I also liked Nobu, Rei, and Kazuya, but we didn't dive deep enough into their stories to truly resonate with them. The first 2 seasons did an excellent job with their characters. In fact, they did such a great job that the best 5 minutes of the entire show were the final 5 minutes, when the original cast appeared in Arisu's office. Just think about that. So in conclusion, if they handle it right, I'd watch 1,000 seasons of Alice in Borderland and never get bored. But what about season 4? Is there a possibility? I'd say a pretty big one. Netflix dropped plenty of hints during season 3, suggesting a potential continuation. They didn't just tease that the next calamity would be massive earthquakes around the world. The Watchman also told Arisu that something big was coming, and Banda was literally desperate to bring Arisu back to the Borderland and make him stay as a citizen. Remember, time flows differently in the Borderland. 1 second there is roughly equivalent to 1 day in the real world. Just imagine how much time has passed since Arisu and the others returned. Are we supposed to believe Banda just waited all that time, got bored, and decided to bring Arisu back after so long? I don't buy that. I think Banda wanted Arisu back for a much deeper reason. And if we believe what the Watchman said, the follow-up could explore exactly that. Banda may have been tasked with finding capable citizens and preparing for the next wave of players who will flood the Borderland. This upcoming catastrophe would be unlike anything seen before, an all-time high in the number of players entering the Borderland. They'll need to be ready when it happens. Just imagine if you had to face Arisu as the king of hearts, Chishiya as the king of diamonds, Aguni as the king of spades, Usagi as the queen of spades, Anne as the queen of diamonds, or Koina as the jack of spades, no one would be returning to the real world. It'd be over for the players before the games even started. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd love to see a version like this. How would those games play out with our main cast now as the game masters? What do you think? Would that excite you as much as it excites me? So, Season 4 could pick up right after the ending of Season 3. We could see the earthquake disaster unfold and a new wave of players flooding into the Borderland, beginning their journey through that mysterious world. As much as I'd love to see more of Arisu playing the games, my poor boy deserves a break. Still, I really liked this version of Arisu. It's clear he's much more mature and calculated than he was in the first 2 seasons. As for the games, there are still some incredible ones from the manga that haven't been adapted yet. One of the most impactful is the 4 of Hearts game, where we meet Dudu. If Netflix wanted, they could make him one of the key players in Season 4, and I think fans would love that. In short, this game takes place in an elevator. Each player must answer a question with either the majority or minority choice. Questions like, we asked 100 people, and you have to guess which answer most people chose. Each correct guess takes you 1 floor up, each wrong one floor down. And since it's a hearts game, you can imagine there are deeper psychological twists. But I'll talk more about that in another video. Another awesome one is the 9 of Hearts game, featured in the spin-off manga, Alice in Borderland, Retry. It's called Alien Invasion, and in short, players must enter a safe zone each round to survive the alien attacks. The twist: there's always one less safe zone than the number of players, meaning it seems like only one person can survive in the end. Players are given a phone with 6 life cards and 1 death card, and they need a life card to enter a safe zone. You can't give a life card to yourself, and by the end of the game, you must have used them all. Trust me, this game is absolutely amazing, and Netflix could kill it if they adapted it properly. It would make a perfect final challenge for the Borderland. Just like Season 2 ended with the Queen of Hearts, Season 4 could close with the 9 of Hearts. Season 4 could also go in a completely different direction. Instead of following right after Season 3, it could take us back in time to the events before Arisu and his friends first entered the Borderland. It could adapt the manga Alice in Border Road, which, while different, has a really intriguing plot. In short, 12 people wake up in the Borderland, each holding a face card. One of them leaves for Tokyo, and the group decides to follow, believing that gathering all the cards might reveal the truth. Their journey back to Tokyo, the road, is where the title comes from. If Netflix wanted to deepen the lore, they could absolutely go this route. They could spend more time exploring the world and building its mythology before the earthquake incident even happens. That way, not only would we get a Season 4, but potentially a Season 5 as well, and that would be insane. Overall, there's still plenty of material to create a 4th season, and there's a real chance it could be as good as the first 2. Netflix just needs to dedicate proper time to developing the games and the cast, rather than rushing it and turning it into another cash grab. So what do you think? Do you believe we'll get a Season 4? And do you think it's a good idea? Or should the series end where it did? Because enough is enough. We don't need an Americanized version of everything. And if you're a manga reader, do you think the next season should adapt more from the original story? There are still some hidden gems in there, like Dodo. And I'm curious, which games from the manga would you want to see adapted next? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.